Hey guys, today we'll be covering a 2020 drama film called 1 in 100,000. The movie opens up with a young high school student, Rino Sakuragi, who is secretly in love with a guy in her class. She is an introvert who cannot express her feelings to the boy. The handsome boy's name is Ren Kiritani. Most of the girls in the high school have a crush on Ren, and they follow him wherever he goes. As he is good at his studies and also in sports, he is the most popular student in the school. One day, while Rino is with her best friend Chihiro, she gets teased for not being able to express her feelings to Ren. Listening to this, Rino gets surprised and starts coughing. Surprisingly, Ren approaches her and hands her a glass of water, asking her if she is okay. He then sits on the other side of the same table to have lunch. Rino is shocked to see Ren sitting opposite to her and walks away, saying she needs to buy another piece of bread. On her way, she falls to the ground, and when Ren approaches her, she simply pulls her skirt and flees. Later, we learn that Rino was trying to hide a scar on her leg, which has been there since her childhood. After school, Chihiro makes it possible for Ren and Rino to walk home together. However, they both feel very awkward trying to strike up a conversation. Despite this, it is apparent that they are smitten with one another. Inside the train, Ren pulls Rino to the other side to make her feel safe. Unbeknownst to her, Rino drops her notebook while on the train and walks away. The next day during a class test, Ren asks Rino to meet him somewhere private. Hearing this, Rino becomes very excited and begins to imagine that she is going to be proposed to by Ren. She rushes to Ren, but to her dismay, the latter just wanted to return the notebook she had dropped the previous day. Rino is heartbroken and quickly leaves with the notebook. Later, while Rino is sitting beside a swimming pool fantasizing about being proposed to by someone, Ren arrives and admits that he likes her. It turns out that Ren has always liked Rino, but was too afraid to tell her. Upon hearing this, Rino cries with happiness and approaches Ren in disbelief, but accidentally pushes him into the swimming pool. Later, the two spend quality time together. The scene then shifts to Ren and Rino having lunch together at their school's cafeteria. Other girls can be seen watching in envy as Rino gets closer to Ren. During their cooking class, a girl intentionally pushes Rino and destroys her cake. Fed up with the bullying, Rino confronts the girl and challenges her to talk to her personally if she has any problems. Seeing Rino and the girl argue, Ren just laughs. Later that day, Rino takes Ren to her place and introduces him to her grandfather, Haro. Ren is so nervous to meet Haro that he greets him awkwardly, making everyone laugh. Later, Rino and Ren can be seen praying to Rino's late parents. Here, we learn that Rino's parents are no more, and it's the reason that she lives with her grandfather. After that, everyone gathers to dinner and Ren enjoys the food that Haro has cooked. While Rino goes to the kitchen to get some beer for Ren, she suddenly falls to the floor. Ren and Haro rush to help her, but she is unable to stand. As a result, she is rushed to a hospital. At the hospital, the doctor performs various scans on Rino, but finds nothing on the X-ray or reports. He then suggests she come for a follow-up if something strange happens to her again. Outside, while Ren is waiting for Rino, Haro informs him that the doctors could not find the cause and have asked to do a follow-up. Ren replies that he will take care of Rino and help her on her way to and from school. Seeing Ren and Haro worried for her, Rino suggests they worry less and simply walks outside. The next day in sports class, Ren tries to grab a stopwatch but fails. Rino is looking at all of this from a distance. She is worried about Ren, but she can't do anything for him. After the class, Ren can be seen practicing alone in the room. Just then, Rino arrives there and starts walking around him, assuring that he is fine. Suddenly, Ren grabs her and pulls her towards him. He hugs her tight and tells her that he likes to spend time with her and that she has made him feel special every single time. Shortly after, the duo have their first kiss. Ren then reminds her that Haro must be waiting for her and that they should return home. But when Rino tries to walk, her knee gives out and she falls to the floor. The scene then shifts to Rino's classroom where she leaves for the hospital, telling her friends that she can go alone. Later, the doctor does a full diagnostic on Rino and concludes that she is suffering from a rare disease called ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. He also reveals that only 1 in 100,000 people in the world suffer from this disease. He explains that ALS damages the brain, preventing it from sending signals to various muscles and nerves in the body, resulting in paralysis. The disease will slowly progress and cause connections in the brain to detach, affecting various body parts. Despite being devastated, Rino assures her grandfather that she will be fine and asks him to get back to his shop. Shortly after, Rino does some research on the internet and finds out that the disease can cause a person to lose their ability to walk, speak, eat, and even breathe. She also finds out that there is currently no cure for the disease. Later, while on the train, Rino writes in her notebook that she wants to spend her time with Ren and wants to give a beautiful gift to her grandfather before she dies. The train stops at her station, but unfortunately, Rino is unable to stand and walk out. She desperately tries to stand, but fails. Elsewhere, Ren gets a call from Haro informing him that Rino has not returned home yet. Ren quickly takes his bicycle and goes out in search for Rino. After searching around, Ren finds Rino sitting on a bench on a platform. He approaches her and asks her why she is sitting there alone. Rino opens up to him about her disease and suggests that he leave her and find someone else. Upon hearing this, Ren gets upset and tears the page from her notebook. He then tells her that he loves her no matter what and will be there for her every step of the way. Afterwards, Ren and Rino can be seen inside a classroom where Ren reads Rino's personal diary and finds out about another list that Rino has prepared. Ren adds some other things to the list and later takes her to the couple relay race competition to fulfill one of her desires. They tie their legs together and try their best to win the game, but unfortunately, Rino collapses midway. She tries to stand and continue the race, but fails to get her legs to move. Despite this condition, Ren motivates her not to give up. Soon, everyone cheers for Rino and she eventually gets up and finishes the race. In the next scene, Rino and Haro are at the hospital where the doctor is trying to console Rino by telling her that she should accept the disease and move on with her life. Haro becomes upset, blaming himself for not being able to save his granddaughter. At home, Haro prepares dinner and calls for Rino. With great difficulty, she reaches the dinner table and starts crying about not being able to help her grandfather. Elsewhere, Ren is missing Rino as she has not come to school for a few days. On a rainy day, Ren goes to meet Rino. After seeing Ren outside her house, Rino rushes towards him. They stand in the rain hugging each other for quite some time. One day, Ren can no longer hold back and he cries his heart out inside one of the empty classrooms. After that, Ren starts doing everything that he can to make Rino happy. He takes Rino to play games and also to her best friend Chihiro's birthday party. Ren begins spending more time with Rino and helping her get around. One day, when Ren brings some drinks to her room, Rino tells him that she wants to be intimate with him. Ren is taken aback to hear this, but Rino explains that soon she will be unable to move her body parts and feel him. In reply, Ren tells her that he views Rino as his treasure and wants to keep her safe and happy at all costs. After this, they make a plan to go on a vacation. The scene then shifts to a tournament where Ren is leading his team while Rino and Chihiro are in charge of the first aid. At the same time, Rino tries to go to the bathroom by herself, but falls on the floor before she makes it there. After Rino doesn't return, Chihiro searches around and finds her on the bathroom floor, crying. It seems like she has peed on her pants. The next day, when Ren comes to visit Rino, she refuses to see him as she is still embarrassed about what happened in the bathroom the day before. Meanwhile, Rino gets a message from a man suffering from the same disease. He informs her that despite his disease, he has been living happily for the past 5 years. He further asks Rino to visit him and learn more about the disease. Afterwards, Rino and Chihiro set off on their journey to meet the man. After arriving at his house, they see him immobile on a bed, talking with the help of an advanced laptop. He tells Rino that even though he cannot move his body, the child inside him is still alive. Later that night, Rino tells her grandfather that she wants to travel with Ren and collect a lifetime of memories. At first, Haro seems surprised, but when Rino tells him that she wants to travel while she can still move around, he agrees. In the next scene, Ren and Rino are enjoying their time together in Tokyo. Inside the hotel room, Rino tells Ren that her father had proposed to her mother in a room like theirs. She further mentions that she doesn't want to return home and just wants to spend more time with him. The next day, Ren takes Rino to a snow-covered village, and they keep their belongings in a house nearby. Later at night, Ren carries Rino to a place where they can see the sky full of stars. On their way, Rino asks Ren if he will grow bored with her. Ren replies that he will never feel bored and will love to spend time with her till his last breath. They reach a spot where they can clearly see the stars. While they are mesmerized by the view, Rino reveals to Ren that the scar on her leg is due to the accident in which she lost her parents. Hearing this, Ren stands up and pulls Rino towards him. He kisses her and tells her that they will be together for the rest of their lives. After spending a few days there, the duo return home. Ren takes Rino to the school in a wheelchair as she is now facing difficulties moving her legs. In class, Rino goes to the front of the classroom and starts telling everyone about her disease. She apologizes to everyone in case she has troubled them before. Later, she expresses her desire to graduate from high school along with her friends. Her classmates understand her condition and agree to help her in every situation. They cheer her up and ask her to stay strong. The scene then fast forwards a few weeks, when Ren can be seen taking Rino to school. It's holiday time after exams, and the school seems to be empty. By now, Rino has stopped moving her neck and can barely speak. Ren takes her to a room where her friends are waiting for her. They are doing so because Rino has successfully passed the exam and has graduated from high school. The movie ends with Rino telling us that despite various difficulties, life goes on, and that we should also move forward, accepting that fact.